So on the blinds here, you're going to have a trim piece that goes over the front of it when it's hanging up, and that's called the valance. And that's what we're going to want to build first. And the reason for that is the side pieces that come to make a 90-degree corner on these will determine some of the depth that you're going to need and let you know where the bracket's going to need to go. So even though it sounds funny, we're going to put the trim piece on first, and then we're going to be able to know exactly where the bracket needs to go according to that. Otherwise, you might put the bracket in too far, and then you can't get, once this is installed, you won't be able to get the blinds in. So you'll understand later in the video why that is. And this is some of the hardware that comes with a kit. I already went over this piece. It's just the corner pieces here for the valance. They come with 90-degree clips, and I'll show you how to install all these. There's a bracket for the longer, bigger blinds, and this will just go in the middle and add in as an extra support. Then there's the hardware here, and then you have the actual brackets. And this kit was labeled RH for right hand, LH for left hand. And basically when they're sitting in there, they're going to come down like this, and they're going to close from the top down. These are the clips for the actual valance, so you can hang the valance on the blind. And then this is just a keychain that I have. It's been pretty accurate so far with helping me set the gap on the back of the windowsill, and I'll show you that too. It's handy to have you know, a knife to open the boxes, some needle nose pliers to help with these clips, and a hammer to start some of these screws as they start to go in. And of course a drill, which has a bit that accepts these kind of a screw here. We're not doing the cross point screw portion, we're doing the actual outer side, hectagon or whatever that is, that a bit that fits over that. It also helps to have a pencil, and I'll show you why. We're just going to draw inside the bracket where we want these screws to go when we have everything in place. So these are the clips that we're going to be using, and the most important part is you have to remember that it opens up like this so that it can hang down on the back of the blind casing. And so on the back side here where my thumb is, this is where we're going to compress these two together so it will fit inside the channel that's on the back side of this. So the way that these blinds are designed, this particular style, the bigger piece is on the top. So we'll remember that as we flip this over. And we're just going to find this channel at the very beginning where it comes on. And so this is the way that the clip's going to go on. We're going to compress these two with the tweezers and slide them in here. And then as you can see, this back part of the clip is what's going to be able to come up and hang on to the actual blind. Now that's where you have to be careful too, because if you see, there's not very many places that these clips can go with all the reels and everything that's in here. So you want to get them in here and then make sure that they're going to clear what's down in here. So we'll go ahead and start with this piece right here, and we're going to just take our needle nose pliers. I do this one-handed, and we're just going to compress the clip like this. And let's see, it's going to go this way since the top big part of the blind is facing that way. And we're just going to compress it, careful not to break it, but we're going to compress it so that it will go down into this channel, and we're going to slide it where it needs to go. So I put 3 of these clips on, one here on the far side because it looked like there was room right about here, one here towards the middle because it looks like there'd be room about there, and then the same on this other far side. So now you can see, I'll just show you how this kind of works. You'll flip it over, and where this tab lifts like that, you'll just slide it onto the blind. So in the end, this is what it will look like. Of course, these are somewhat upside down right now. But that's what it's going to look like, and so we'll go ahead and install these corner pieces. So on these corner wedge pieces, you're going to take the flat part, and it's going to be towards the bottom so that this angled part matches up there. So go ahead and we're going to slide this 90° in here, and then once that's on, we'll be able to slide the other 90° edge of it into the back of the valance. So I slid that piece in here. Now we're taking the other 90° piece and just getting it right into that channel. So now it's going in to here and going down into that channel, so you just squeeze it together until these line back up. So there you go, it's lined up pretty well, and we'll just do the same thing on the other side. So once again, we're just taking our 90°, putting it into the side that's been cut at an angle, and taking it over here and sliding it into the channel. So once it's in, just match it up the best that you can. And so now you have your valance completed with the 90° portion of it. And I'll show you why that's so important. So now I've attached the valance to the top of the actual blind. And what I'm going to do is pick the whole unit up and I'm going to set it inside of the windowsill. And that way I'm going to know where this bottoms out. So as we put it in, this corner of the blind is going to hit the wall, and then there's going to be space then behind the wall right back here before it hits the window, and that's the distance I'm trying to measure. So this is the reason why we wanted to have the valance assembled and on first, is as you set it in the windowsill, obviously it's going to be up at the top of the window, but as you set it in here, you're going to come to the point where the valance hits the wall. And then if you can see back in here, there's still a gap up until it gets to the window. So you want to measure this gap when it's at the top. And then you're going to set your bracket in with that much space here so that the blinds will sit the way that they should. Now if you look inside up here, you'll see that the bracket, this part of the bracket, hangs outside of the window. So that's what you're going to have to do, and know that the brackets are going to be sticking out a little bit if you want this 90° valance. Otherwise you can delete this piece on the side and go farther in if you'd rather do that. But this is going to have the blinds level out with the wall, and so that's why you need to do it that way. So we're going to go ahead and lift it up to the top, and then we're going to take our measurement to know how much back spacing we need to have here. Then we'll put our bracket on. So now we're going to find our line here and put our bracket to where it lines up with the back of it and push it up so it's square against the top. And then using our pencil, we're going to draw inside of these 4 circles. And you can even do the top ones, I suppose, if you wanted to. Okay. So now to make it easy on yourself, take one of the screws and line it up right inside of those holes that you drilled, or that you drew, and just break through enough to get through the drywall, and these will be kind of like pilot holes and will help this get started. Otherwise it's really difficult to hold that in there. So we're going to go ahead and just tap all these. So we're going to get some of these started, but don't drill one all the way in until you have the rest of them started. We're going to leave it somewhat loose until we can get our next ones going. So as you're screwing these in, just make sure that the other holes still have the black marks lined up behind them, so you know that everything's going in right. There we go. Okay, so we did the same thing on the other side here, and now we're going to move on to our middle bracket. And this one's not as critical to measure. You just want to put it next to the other ones see how far it goes in so that the blinds don't, because if it's out this far, the blinds won't go in all the way. So line it up to the back portion there. You can measure the distance between the back of the window or such, and then just put it about here in the middle, and then just screw those ones in. So same thing, I just tapped with a hammer here just to break through the drywall after I marked with a pencil where all 4 of these holes were. So now they're going to be able to have nice little pilot holes in them, and we can drill that bracket in. Next we're going to remove the valance, otherwise those brackets wouldn't be able to close over it. So you just pull up on that tab, just like so, and just do that everywhere where those tabs were installed. Okay, so with the valance removed, we're now just going to lift the whole assembly and place it right into the brackets. And we did put the ends of those brackets up so that we can obviously get the blinds in there. So next we're going to just lift the whole blind up and go right inside of each of these brackets that we've hung. There we go. And we're in, so we'll just put these clips down on the sides until they clip. Okay, and then all we have to do is take our valance here and just slide the clips right back on. So there you have it. As you can see, it lined up perfectly with that center corner and that 90-degree corner that's on there. And if we didn't do it that way, it would either be sticking out farther or it wouldn't go on all the way. These kits also come with this little hanger for the blinds. If you want to, you can drill it into the side of your wall, and then you can use it to tie the little tassels up with. But I don't think I'm going to do that.